experienced like some gnarly stuff. Like
I feel like you were like at the tail end of like the hard era of apprenticeships.
Yeah, I was definitely. I didn't have it as hard as most, or like some of the dudes before me, like Jason and Matt. Like they had it pretty gnarly. Like I guess like the gnarliest shit for me was like some of like the manual labor or like the weird conversations that I'd get into, like where I don't know, it was wilder back then. Like let's say like I might have hooked up with somebody that Jose hooked up with, and I'd get the weird awkward questions like, "Hey, you haven't fucked anybody that I have, huh?" You know, and it's like, "Fuck, this is weird. I just started here, and now I might have to fight my boss."
And you're like 18 years old.
Yeah, so it's fucking crazy, dude. Like it's scary. I was like, "Yo, this dude was in fucking jail for a long fucking time, and now he's asking me if I fucked anybody." You know? So, but that was crazy.
Those aren't conversations you have with your guys anymore.
No, man. Like that shit's fucking crazy. And you know, I would have to like show up like early as fuck in the morning to like do construction work for his girlfriend at the time or whatever. Like just a lot of odds and ends that I just kind of had to do. Or he'd hit me up at 4 in the morning. He's like, "Yo, I'm stuck at this place. Come pick me up." I'd be like, "All right, bro. Fine, I'll be there." You know. But
I think there's an element of that, and it's maybe it's by design or maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, it's like kind of sort of weeding out the weak. Like if you can handle an apprenticeship with a guy like Jose or whatever, you'll be able to survive in a shop on 8th Street. And look at you now. You've been able to come into your own, and now you own that shop.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That shit was super important. Just, dude, you have to deal with characters, especially early on. Like, the shop's changed significantly since, like, when it opened, you know. The neighborhood's changed, too. The type of people and clientele has changed. But initially, like, you know, he'd be tattooing 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. Yeah. And, like, you know, you'd have weird dudes.
To wait there for him.
Yeah, I'd have to wait up front and just, like, kick people out, essentially, because...
There'd be animals there.
Yeah, dude, it was...
All hours.
It'd be weird. He's like, "Here's the bat, and wait at the door."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, all right.
You're like, that's not what I signed up for, but whatever.
But I guess I'm here now, so, like, I gotta make sure that I don't fuck up.
I definitely think that there's, I mean, this is a stretch, right? But I think there's parallels between that attitude and the attitude that we've taken here with interns in the past, where it's like sometimes there's not a ton of structure, but honestly it's the way that I came up and that we came up in it too. We didn't invent this, but we learned very much the hard way. And in a lot of ways, like an internship here at Soul can take a really long time, but a lot of it's like sit the fuck down, listen, learn and absorb, and if you're meant to be the guy, it's just gonna happen. Yeah. You have to kind of learn the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anybody, like, in any job, or just anything like a tattoo shop, like a gym, or any business, you got to know that you could rely on whoever's going to be there. Right. And what better way than, like, seeing how they act when, like, they're really fucking tested and, like, when they're in shit. You know what I mean?
For sure. Like, any business, there's something to be said for just throwing someone into the fire and, like, yo, if you make it through, all right, you have a chance of staying here. And the ones who don't, all right, sorry, too bad, move on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what, you said Jose passed away, and then you came to own the shop yourself. How exactly did that happen? What was that?
It was a really weird transition.
When did Jose pass away? Was it 2008?
2009. 2009. He passed away in 2009. It was really sudden. It was like Labor Day weekend, 2009. Just got a phone call, 3, 4 in the morning, and it was really weird. I just kind of like, I knew, like I felt it. Like it was just like, oh, he's dead. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do about the shop. Mm-hmm. Which is weird. It took me a while for like the whole like grief thing to actually like hit. You know, I don't know. I don't process shit like that well. I just, you know, initially was like with the family, talking with the family, dealing with that, and then come, you know, the first month after that, I saw like a lot of the money had been disappearing.
Disappeared, yeah.
You know, it was like 7 G's gone or some shit like that, and it was really fucking weird. And it was like, you know, we had to pay rent, and we had to do this, and we had to do that. And
there was no real leadership.
There was no structure.
Yeah.
No structure. And at that point, it was me, John Vale, and this dude Vince. And I was like, fuck, man, I gotta do something, because at this rate, we're not gonna be able to stay open, you know?
Right.
So I spoke to the landlord and kind of essentially created a new corporation and signed a new lease. Was it sketchy? Absolutely. But, you know, I continued, like, paying his parents, which is all I really cared about for several years, you know. I think over the course of it was like $250,000 or fucking something stupid. And then at some point I was like, I can't do this anymore because I'm fucking cutting my own throat. You know, you could be good for so long, and then it's like, you know, he had brothers and sisters and shit like that.
I remember being at the shop one day after that happened and seeing some stranger come ask John for money and like,
it was a whole bunch of people coming out of the fucking woodwork for weird shit,
asking
and it's
for money
like
from you guys, and
it's like, nah, man, we're not working for you. I don't even fucking know you, man.
Yeah,
you know.
You had been there for several years, and you had never seen most of these people.
Yeah, so it's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's a huge fucking family, but we're not supporting you. I only cared about his parents. And then came a point where I was just like, I can't do this shit anymore. You know, I'm trying to expand the business. I'm trying to grow the business. And what it is today is totally different than what it was.
Yeah.
It's a different animal. It's a different aesthetic. Like, you know, I pay tribute to the name, and I pay tribute to Jose whenever I can. You know, because I owe him my career. But aside from that, it's like, we're different.
Yeah, the shop has transformed tremendously. There's more tattooers. You guys have a second shop upstairs.
Yeah.
You guys have way more guest artists. You travel around the world. Your tattooers travel around the world.
Yeah.
You've had tattooers that have come and left the shop that have gone to do bigger things in other states and cities.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the shop's expanded a great deal. I'm trying to like really focus on essentially raising the tattoo culture in Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's still, you know, treats tattooing as like, I guess, going to your barber, you know? You stick to going to your barber for fucking ever. You know? And it's like, you don't cheat on your barber. It's like, and they treat, you know, that, like, you know, with your tattooers, like, that's my tattooer for life. And it's like, nah, I want people to want to collect, you know? And I want to bring in talent from outside so people, like, see the difference in tattooing and, like, the difference, like, something that Miami hasn't had, you know? Miami's still a relatively young city, and I think there's a lot to really expand on and grow on.
I think one of the biggest differences of a shop like Ocho Placas is, like, let's say, like, you know, you said you don't cheat on your barber, like, Javi's your tattooer, and you've been getting whatever, like, dark, black, hard, traditional stuff from Javi, and then for some reason you get a hair up your ass and you want a portrait or something, and you ask Javi, he's probably not going to do it. He's probably, I mean, you can do it.
I can't do it, but
you're probably going to give it to a tattooer in your shop that would be better suited to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our shop, like, I've tried to essentially collect, you know, somebody that could provide a great tattoo in whatever style is needed. You know?
Yeah, but you definitely have like specialists in certain.
Absolutely, and that's, you know, that's their specialty. That's what they care about, and you will ultimately want to get tattooed by somebody that wants to do that tattoo. And, you know, a lot of people don't see it that way.
That's another thing I always tell people when they ask about, like, what should I talk to Javi about, or what should I talk to Chris about, or Teapot, or I want this, or I want that. And I'm like, look, dude, like, just tell them your idea, but tell them to make it how they want to make it.
Yeah. Ultimately, you want them to do something
stoked
they want to do.
Tattoo.
Yeah. You don't want to go and, like, pick some guy, like, I want this crazy dragon with whatever wizard bullshit, and they're totally not into it.
No, dude, it's going to be torture.
And
it'll be twice the cost.
Yeah, and I probably know somebody that would be super stoked to do that tattoo for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, just, you know,
listen to your tattoo.
Yeah, people get the tattoos they deserve based on their decisions and how they approach it. It's
like, dude, people make such bad decisions, man. They're like,
CrossFit's full of some classic
CrossFit tattoos are the worst, dude.
Yeah.
You mean I shouldn't get 48 lines of a Bible verse on my torso?
Yeah, dude. You know, we had one dude come in last night and, like, super nice dude wanted, but, like, I was trying to explain to him, it's like, maybe you shouldn't get an entire poem down your entire leg. You know what I mean? Like, that's like 200 words, and at that size, you're gonna spend $4 to $5 grand.
It's a lot of words,
man. A lot of fucking words. So
maybe you shouldn't get that whole outline in red.
Yeah. It's a lot of, you know, and it's like we try to educate the best way possible. Like, we don't want to, like, make you feel dumb about what you want to get, but we're trying to guide you in the best direction.
Just steer them in the right direction. Like, hey, like, I know you want this.
Yeah, I never want to make somebody feel like shit about what they want to get, but I'm going to give you the better option, and it's ultimately up to you.
Sometimes it's hard to not call someone dumb, huh? You're like, you're probably not smart. Just by what you're saying, there's a good chance that you're probably an idiot. I want to say that, like, maybe, how do I word this? There's no chance I'm going to do that ever. I will never fucking do that, ever.
Dude,
I mean, I know that's what you're thinking inside.
Yo,
but there's a way to say, hey, how about we, like...
But sometimes they hit you with, but I have faith in you. And then you're like, fuck.
I don't have faith that I could ever do this underwater, but here's the thing, it's not underwater, it's above water, and it's really outer space, but it's a reflection. So I want it to be in the clouds,
looking inside of a mirror,
but then under, and I want it to start on my arm, but kind of like go through my arm and come out the other side.
Yeah.
I've been in your shop and heard people ask you, like, look,
you get some weird requests, and at the end
how
of the
often
day,
do you have to turn someone down?
Pretty regularly, but I try to always.
Dude, how about we do this huge panther head instead of... Oh, I got an idea. You want a fucking laser zombie gypsy fairy?
How about
bird?
a rose? A rose would be really
Oh, you
red.
want a watercolor? The word life turning into feathers and leaves?
Let's do an eagle.
Let's do a huge eagle on your chest. When you're not a complete retard, it'll be a great tattoo. Like, give me... When you're an adult, you'll recognize that I gave you the right thing. People ask me, you know, someone who's covered in tattoos, like, dude, should I get this really terrible thing on me? Look, dude, why don't you just go and, like, a good tattooer can probably convince somebody of, like, look, man, this just aesthetically, oh, it's a great idea. Oh, what a beautiful thing you're thinking of getting.
Yeah.
Why don't we turn that into a tattoo? You know? There's some tattooers, like you were saying, some people, you know, it's a trade. Some people mix the artistry into it, and I've seen people who can do some wacky idea, and it looks like a great tattoo. Yeah. But there's something about those strong designs that have stood the test of time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That, you know?
And again, you know, I'm not approaching this like it has to be traditional, it has to be this way or
Oh,
another,
no.
but it's like, yo, some things work, you know?
Yeah.
Outlines work.
Yeah.
You know?
Black works.
Black works. You need contrast.
Black stays.
Yeah. So, you know, I always try to guide along that lines, and it's like...
Lines work.
You know, if I could make something cool out of it, I'll let you know that I could work with it.
Yeah.
But if not, it's like, yo, I have no idea how to even approach that.
I don't know how to tattoo a melting phoenix coming out of a...
Well, look, there are ways to make some stuff like that work. There are tattooers like Robert Ryan, we talked about him earlier, Greg Christian. There's some tattooers that make designs like that work, a melting skull into a chalice with a fucking
Some people just think that way and think outside the box, you know. I'm really straightforward.
It's more about like the application of it rather than the concept.
To me, it's more about like, I just want to do a good tattoo that I know how to approach, and I want it to look classic, I want it to look elegant, I want it to look strong, and ultimately not silly. Like I don't want to do funny tattoos. I just want to do like a rad, like serious tattoo that you're gonna be stoked to wear.
Yeah, something that's gonna heal well, that you're gonna be happy to wear.
Yeah. So,
when you're older.
For example,
like,
certain people that are into like more like party tattoos and like fun tattoos, like I'm not the tattooer for you.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that are. That could fucking kill that. You know, just I don't think that way, I don't draw that way.
Yeah, so you'd rather not do something you're not stoked on. Like,
exactly.
Hey, let me give this to somebody who's going to do that and be really hyped on doing it.
Yeah, and more, like, you know, with things like, you know, you guys know, like, I have my issues with my hands and stuff. Like, I only have X amount of hours in the engine. So, that being said, I can't tattoo everything, and I know that now. It's just like, I'm not going to spend, you know, 10 fucking hours tattooing a design that ultimately I'm not going to photograph, I can't use for my portfolio, and I'm not going to care about because I'm going to feel like shit afterwards and my hands are fucked.
Well, I think you put in enough time. I mean, you did all the walk-ins that you may or may not have wanted to do.
Exactly.
And, like, now you're at a point where people go to you pretty much for what you're good at doing now, right? I mean, you're at a point, I think you get at a point in that career, well, like in a gym and coaching, people come to Danny for this particular thing that he's good at. You know?
Yeah, well, look, I think there's, like I said before, and this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to have Javi on, there's a lot of parallels between Ocho Placas, how he came up, and how we came up, even at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Like, he turned into the owner of Ocho Placas the same time that we opened. The beginning of his career was very much accelerated, just like mine. I was very much thrown into the fire, like, in my previous gym, and was like, run it, I'm out, figure it out, dude. And then we ended up opening our own spot. Didn't go to business school, didn't learn any of those practices, didn't have any kind of formal upbringing, and had to figure it all out. It was very much accelerated, and I hate to sound cocky, but I put us on the same level as far as a CrossFit, weightlifting, powerlifting gym in Miami as I do Ocho Placas as far as a tattoo shop in Miami.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and like our parallels have always been there. You know, our shop clientele and you know a lot of the gym members. It goes back and forth. You know, and it's kind of become like, you know, like a symbiote kind of thing. You know, like we feed off of each other and we're.
You go into Ocho Placas any day or Javi's coffee shop, and you will see a student from University of Miami who trains here, a client here, a weightlifter here, a CrossFitter here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say almost every day.
Almost every
one
day.
of those two spots.
Every day.
Sure.
So it's rad that you know everybody kind of lumps all of us together as far as like even when it comes to like young business owners and stuff like that, our group and is always you know reflects each other. So
let me ask you a question. You said something about your hands, which has been a big deal for you. Can you tell everybody a little bit about the problems you have in your hands?
Well, I was probably I want to say a few years into tattooing at that point. My hands started cramping up on me, and I didn't really know why. I started losing sensation in my hands and having trouble just like kind of turning a key or just doing anything with them. I was still tattooing, even though like it felt fucking crazy. And I started going to doctors. Nobody could really figure out what it was.
Both hands?
Both hands, and then it started spreading like throughout my other joints, my feet, my knees. Just everything would jam up on me, and I wouldn't be able to walk some days. Mm-hmm. And eventually, you know, I saw a few rheumatologists. I kind of got bounced around. Everybody went from like lupus to like just all sorts of crazy shit. It's like, oh, it might be MS. And it's like, oh fuck. Cool. Well, you know, whatever. Shit hand. But they eventually diagnosed me with Still's disease, which is just early onset, like rheumatoid arthritis. And I was struggling with that for a long time. I was on prednisone for fucking years.
I remember that.
And like, I was fucking swollen. I got up to like, dude, I was weighing like 220 at one point, and I was just like,
if you don't know Javi, that's a lot for Javi.
dude, it was fucked.
That's got to be terrifying too. I mean, you work with your hands.
Yeah, and I was like, well, at some point or another, I'm not gonna be able to do this shit anymore. Now, you know, I think it was just like 10 milligrams a day. It was just, dude, a lot for like over a year. I jumped over to methotrexate and Enbrel and all sorts of fucking just immunosuppressants. And ultimately, I made a decision that I don't want to be on that shit anymore. And changed my lifestyle dramatically. You know, the moment I started dealing with all this shit and got on this medication, you know, I went to like essentially clean living. I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I quit just being a fucking dickhead, you know, and late nights and all this shit. You know, I was like partying pretty fucking hard and getting really fucked up. And I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. My mentor just died, and like all this just came all at once. So I stopped all that.
You just stopped everything cold turkey?
Yeah.
Just like one day to the next?
Yeah, I was like, fuck that, I'm done. And I don't know, I guess like it clicked, you know. I think with certain things, things just need to click in and you realize like what your priorities are, and you're just like, fuck it, I gotta do this. If not, work is the most important thing to me. I've dedicated everything and I've given up everything for this. So why am I gonna fuck it up now?
Yeah.
And I kept you know, trying to stay sober and clean and not go out and try to sleep better and eat better. And ultimately, I think where I started really seeing results, I went paleo for about a year.
I remember you and I talked about that way back when we were having like big problems.
Yeah, when I was really bad and first came off of the Enbrel, which is the biggest thing. I had to get off of it because any like injection or biologic, anything along the lines of that, like, I'm fucking weird about it. I was like, I can't be putting this shit into my body like every other day. And I went paleo, and I dropped a lot of weight pretty quick right off of it. At one point, I was too fucking small.
Yeah.
Like, I was too fucking skinny. I was down to like 160 from 220, which is fucking insane. And I looked kind of a little cracked out, but I was feeling better. I got completely off of everything, and I was able to tattoo longer hours, feeling a lot better, a lot stronger. And then ultimately I was like, well, I can't be 160. This is weird. So I started introducing other things into my diet again, and eating a little better, eating a little cleaner. And then that's when, about 2 years ago now, you kept telling me to come into the gym. Yeah, forever. And I would like show up like 1 day or 2 days and fucking just be like, not show up again for 6 months or something.
We did CrossFit a few times together in the old gym.
Yeah, in the old gym, in the second location.
Yeah.
And then it came to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. And then I started doing like the powerlifting with you guys, and
well, he started. He would deadlift with you and I and squat and bench.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he would do a lot of conditioning because you and I.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Lewis here. We would condition a ton. And you would do the long runs and the high volume pull-up workouts and the weird carries, and we did some strongman stuff.
Yeah, at the time we were doing like one heavy lift a day.
Yeah.
We'd do a long, slow, grindy conditioning piece.
Like 40 minutes of bike, row, skier, run, carries, D-balls.
The
fat guy cardio is what we used to call it.
A lot of sled stuff.
Lots of sleds. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you had back issues when you first started, right?
Yeah,
and that's like super common with all the tattoos.
It was just like, essentially my chest was pretty much like caved forward, you know what I mean? It was like, just from the position of tattooing, so just through training and like strengthening those muscles again, I've been able to like, it helps me work a lot longer because I'm in a better position and it just feels stronger.
You guys basically spend like hours in the
over,
worst. It's like when you see those posture diagrams and there's like the example of the bad one, that's how you guys spend most of your day.
For, hours at a time, and it's just like, well, again, if I want to continue doing this for a long time, you might as well get stronger and healthier, and at least fix all the back issues I have, all the hand issues I have, and dude, all of it's kind of helped, man. A lot of like, all the deadlift workouts, man, like, has helped out significantly, not only strengthening my back, but my grip. My grip strength is, dude, that was a big part of it too.
That's funny, I was texting with a good friend of mine, he's a client, Billy, today, and he struggles with a ton of back issues. And what I've been telling him for the longest is he needs to take a step back from some of the class workouts, and he needs to learn how to deadlift and do deadlift assistance work and strengthen his glutes and his hamstrings, do more core work and more isometric work and less bending at the hip, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people don't understand that concept. They're like, how can more deadlifts and learning how to deadlift strengthen my back? If what hurts me is doing limit injuries.
But even something like doing a good deadlift, for example, like, yes, I've been doing this for a while, but I'm constantly being like, oh, I'm all sorts of fucking out of position, and like constantly trying to figure out a way to do it better.
You pulled sumo, now you're pulling conventional again.
Yeah, so I'm trying to, you're constantly trying to figure it out, so like, if you never really had any fundamentals, I could see why like doing 50 in a wad, like without any like proper like, even just doing one or two properly.
Yeah,
like,
simple is better. It's like what, to bring it back, like what you're talking about with crazy clients asking for these crazy designs. We get it here. People come in and be like, I want to get 20 ring muscle ups and lose 50 pounds and add 40 pounds to my squat. You're like, yo, you don't even know how to squat yet. Let's start with the body weight air squat first. Like, simple is better. Let's figure this out. Like, well, how's a goblet squat going to help my muscle ups? And like, shut up, dude. Just squat.
Just squat.
Like, forget about muscle ups,
When you were training with us, at some point you ended up wanting to compete in powerlifting, right?
Yeah, I
did, right?
I did 3 competitions, and it's been a lot of fun and a big, I don't know, it's just crazy seeing like how far, just putting in work, like I just get stoked on it, and now I've been traveling a lot more, so it's been a lot harder to train. But like now, I just like want to like find some stability and like get back in here and grind again, because I would like to do another meet next year, and Lou's like helping me out with some programming and see what we can do.
Have you had any hand issues or back issues in the last few months or anything?
No. I've actually been pretty good. Maybe like some slight cramping because of not training. You know what I mean? Like I really feel like it's like fuck, I need to get back in here. Just because I feel myself, you know, you feel weaker. Even like being out of the gym for like a week, you're like fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and it sets you back, but you know, it's what it is. And no, but I've been fortunate enough to like be all right and without any issues, any joint issues at all.
Javi's definitely an outlier in that like tattoo community. There's not a lot of very healthy, fit guys that compete in powerlifting and focus on an anti-inflammatory diet and not wanting to
I feel like
take
there's starting to be more though.
Like
you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Guys are getting into lifting and eating healthy.
Or you know, like the standing tables and
Yeah.
stuff like that for work. And
guys like Tim Hendricks have posted about that a lot. He's sponsored by Progenics.
I've seen stuff like that a lot as people become more conscious about that. If you're in a band, if you're in a tattoo, any of those kind of jobs, if you want to continue to do it, dude, tattooers end up crippled pretty quickly, and dudes in bands end up dying. If you don't get healthy, you're living on tour for years. Tattooers are from city to city, from party to party.
And the thing is, like, most of the people that go into this aren't really thinking about longevity. You know what I mean? Or like they're like, fuck, I have no other option. You know, like, I'm covered in tattoos as is. I might as well fucking tattoo. I just want money to fucking be able to party tonight and do whatever the fuck I need to do. And it's like, well, alright, cool. But really, how long can you keep that going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. Like, you could have a great quality of life in this industry, in both of our industries, too, because it's the same issue, like, in the gym environment, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck, I want to get fucking whatever the fuck, like, the fastest way possible, and you're fucking compromising a lot of shit in the process, you know?
That's very common in our industry for coaches and athletes, is they're chasing some giant PRs and they're falling in love with some like Instagram athlete and they want to chase those, and before you know it, they're loaded up putting their health at supreme risk and not really enjoying the process and not thinking about longevity.
Yeah, what's one of the things we talk about all the time, like, do you have a long-term plan, or is your training just see 3 months into the future?
Crash and burn.
Like, do you need to deadlift a PR 6 times in the next 3 months, or what are you going to do in 10 years? Like,
well, look again. I think there's parallels between that and tattooing. Like there has to be a process. You have to respect the process, and that is when like the most long-term development and security in training and your job will come from. Is like long development and being very, very, very patient. I think social media has been a blessing and a curse in a lot of those ways. So some of my buddies that had been tattooing for quite some time, they hate Instagram. They hate the fact that, and I know guys that own gyms that have the same philosophy. They think it's turned into like a popularity contest. It has in a lot of ways, but I think you can use it to your benefit.
Absolutely. The world has changed, and people need to fucking like wake up to that shit. And it's like, dude, it is what it is, but if you continue doing shit the same fucking way forever, you're not gonna grow with the times and grow, you know, with the audience. Like, you could reach, sure, it's like, don't compromise your work or anything like that, but as long as you're putting out a good product, a good, you know, image, you know, and people are going to pay attention, people are going to come towards you, you know, and it's relatively like and relevant for both, you know, tattooing and a gym, you know, because you're trying to reach somebody that normally wouldn't see you, but you're going to catch their eye with what you have to offer. And it's like it's a tool, you know. It'd be dumb to turn it away. And I don't know why you would fight it, because
well, the downside of that, at least in our industry, and I think in both, is like, we have people who are new to training and they follow people online that are doing these crazy things, and they don't see the 10 years of training that person has, all the time they spend in the gym, all the missed lifts, all the practice and training it got to get there, and they want those things now. Other people are doing them, I want to do it. And I think you could probably say the same for tattooers coming up.
A lot of younger
they're not doing the simple stuff, the classic designs, because yo, this guy's doing something fucking crazy. I want to do that.
Yeah.
And they're skipping steps there. They don't see the 1,000
yeah.
tattoos that guy, the 1,000 roses he did that are perfect, you know?
Exactly.
They're just seeing that crazy whatever.
Yeah, and you know, and I try to tell, you know, the younger dudes at the shop or anybody that really, you know, wants to talk about tattooing or whatever, it's just like, yo, just fucking grind and like put in the work. And it's like, you know, I've been tattooing, you know, going on 12 years or something at this point, and it's like, yo, I had to do a ton of fucking script, a ton of little things that
butterflies,
that
kanjis.
Yeah, exactly. But every one of those tattoos taught me something for the next tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like all that shit's important. And same thing with fucking lifting, man. Like, yo, every missed lift, you're gonna know why you missed that shit.
Every day of back pain,
Yeah.
every shitty squat. Yeah.
You know, so.
You know, when you see like the newer generation coming up, sometimes for people who like came up tougher, it's a hard pill to swallow. But to be honest, I use someone like Quinn. Quinn is I don't know if you'd still call him an apprentice or whatever, but he's like the young guy at Ocho Placas. His development has been much faster.
Yeah.
But that's dope, man. Like, the line is straighter for guys like that. You know, for some people that come in here, the line is much straighter. And you know, I'll use David. He's sitting behind me right now. When he started here, like, his development has been fast.
Yeah.
But that's just because there's so much more media, so much more content, so many more opportunities to learn, and better information.
Yeah.
When we opened Soul, there was fucking nothing. There was like what was on CrossFit.com. There was like our West Side VHSs and like
calling Louis Simmons up.
Yeah, there was not a lot of readily available content. You would have to go travel, go find a seminar, go find a competition, go train somewhere for an extended period of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
The development is much faster and greater. A lot of people hate on that, but I think it's good overall.
No, absolutely. Now you have all of this in tattooing. Like you have with Instagram alone, it's like endless inspiration, endless references. People constantly posting things that are out of print and stuff that you could use.
There's like no secrets.
Yeah,
in
no
either
secrets
industry.
I think that's a part of people. It's a good thing, and then there's, you know, that's why people bicker about it. Like, I could see, you know, tattooing, when we got into it, and when you started tattooing, when we started getting tattoos, it's a very, like, counterculture, underground-ish thing.
Yeah.
And at one point, you had to, like, really be in the know-how, or, like, go find it to get it. To get the good stuff, you had to either know where it was, or, like, travel to go get it. To get, you know, good training, you had to, like, go to that, find that person who did it, that one guy. And now it's, I mean, I look at somebody's Instagram and I find 100 Instagrams that are just like it, and you have access to everything. So I see people mad about...
Yeah, 1,000 different online programs that you could fucking just download a template.
And now you don't have to do the hard work to go find the, like, cherished good.
Exactly.
So
thing,
all that
you
is
know?
true, but there's still, and this is why a shop like Hobbies and Gym like ours is going to succeed no matter what, because people are still going to want to seek out the best.
Yeah.
And like from a coaching perspective, people still need to be handled and coached and taught about the patient's in development. Because some of the difference in tattooing and training, if someone is gifted and has the hunger, they can develop very quickly as a tattooer. Some people as an athlete are just not, and are going to need way more time and focus. And
some people are a natural athlete and some people aren't. Some people learn to develop, you know, whatever strengths that they have.
Yeah.
Some people just get it naturally, you know what I mean?
And it's not comparable. There's people who always come in here and they're like, why did so-and-so within 2 years were they able to be top 10 in regionals and I've been doing this for 12? Genetics, maybe drugs, I don't know. There's many reasons. Lifestyle. Their development as a young athlete themselves. I mean, there's many different reasons why that could be. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of corny to quote Greg Glassman, but he's always said, like, the best of us will survive. The people who want it the most, the people who work the most at it are going to survive no matter what. And I used to, like, feel indifferent about that, but now at this point in our business, I definitely buy into that. You know? A few months ago, maybe like a year ago, you opened a coffee shop?
No, it was in April, so...
Yeah, this year.
Yeah,
it feels like it's been. This year is just taking forever.
Yeah, this year's been fucked, but yeah.
No one at this table has anything good to say about
this year is crazy. But I opened up White Rose Coffee here in Miami.
It's next door to Ocho Placas?
It's 3 doors down from Ocho Placas.
3 doors down?
How many doors down?
3 doors down.
Was that on purpose?
Yes, actually. No.
Nice.
No, it wasn't, but...
You know any 3 Doors Down songs?
No.
You probably don't. No.
Dude, your fucking eyes lit up.
That could have been.
I just heard 3 doors down. It's like, you
He's
know,
like, oh shit, 3 doors down.
any chance I get to repeat that, you know?
Yeah, I opened it up. You know, we serve Perla coffee, which, you know, Paul trains here. And, dude, it's just been rad. Like, again, I'm trying to grow, you know, the community and involve everybody that's kind of involved with us, you know what I mean? And kind of like share all of that together. And it's cool, man. Like, have something for us, you know?
How was that transition? Because there's no like natural segue from tattooing to
no,
coffee,
man, it's been a huge fucking learning curve and seeing what works, what doesn't. And it's like, this is all trial and error at this point. See what sticks and just, dude, I'm just having fun with it, man. I'm just doing something different and,
no frappuccinos?
No frappuccinos, man, but,
Is that like no stairway to the Guitar Center?
No stairway to Guitar Center. No Sweet Child of Mine. But yeah, no, man, it's been a lot of fun. Just trying to have good coffee in that area. I grew up in that area. You know, I've been working in that shopping center for 12 fucking years, and like, there's nothing like that, man. And it goes back to what I was saying, like, you know, us younger, like I guess business owners need to shape the community around us, you know, and show people something different.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that area, coffee means a totally different thing to most people in that area than what you're putting out right now, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. That area is primarily...
That area is actually huge for coffee, but,
yeah,
but it's different. Yeah, it's
completely
it's very like Cuban coffee driven, and like what people are used to, which is, you know, colas and the traditional cafecito. But we are trying to do something different. We're trying to show people specialty coffee, you know, all locally sourced stuff, locally roasted coffee, vegan options, which on A Street nobody particularly gives a fuck about, but
and
our community,
Cuban and pastelitos.
Yeah, our community really does, and it really seeks that out, you know, and it's a different experience, you know, constantly showing like skate videos and having art shows and
Saturday morning cartoons and horror movies.
It's cool you guys have been able to do that, because I mean, you'd go over there anyways before, and the whole lobby would be filled anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you have like a waiting room for people.
Yeah,
and
where you can eat something, have some good
place
coffee.
For people in this community, like you said before you started working there, we all kind of knew each other from the same community. Now it's another place for people from this community to go hang out.
Yeah.
It's on A Street. You normally have to go all the way down A Street to downtown to hang out.
For good coffee, you know, you would have to jump out
Panther Coffee
downtown, and you know, you'd be slammed, you know, just trying to get a cup of coffee.
Now you don't have to go to Wynwood or to downtown to get
I have no reason to go there.
Yeah, I never go downtown for anything.
I used to go get coffee.
Yeah.
I would make that trip a few times a week.
So you mean you're not going to open another Brazilian pants store on A Street? Because that's like the thing there.
That is the thing. That and Colombian fajas.
So tattooing and fajas?
Yeah. Well, we have a lady that does some right next door.
Nice.
A botanica?
Yeah. Well, there's a few across the street.
Doors down.
For sure. Yeah.
3 doors down. 3 more doors.
Oh! Kryptonite. That's the song.
What?
3 doors down.
Was that them?
That was them.
That was them.
How did you just figure that out?
Andres showed me on his phone.
Fucking cheater.
Cheat. That was my game. He's my game genie.
It's your lifeline.
Yeah.
Damn Game Genie.
Yeah.
That was on Game Boy, right?
That was on all
Sega and Nintendo.
Yeah, Game Shark.
Game Shark too. Yeah.
Wait, how did Game Genie work?
You put the
plugged
Super
it
Nintendo.
into
You'd put the Game Genie into the Super Nintendo
And you
and
put
put
the
your
cartridge
cartridge
into
into the Game Genie.
And then you needed the book. You needed the book of codes.
Yeah,
Codes.
you need a big ass book of codes, bro. It's a giant book with codes for every game.
You could buy those at the store, like at GameStop. They had to sell them.
Yeah, they sell the books.
magazines. Yeah.
And what
Weird
happened?
long ones.
Whatever.
It would
Yeah.
unlock
Whatever you
like
wanted.
fucking whatever. Everything, man.
Or you just print them out eventually
Yeah.
out of the sheets of cheats.
Game Genie. Sorry, guys. Game Genies.
So you're selling Game Genies at White Rose.
Oh, now I am. Yeah. Now I am.
You guys have any events coming up? You guys do stuff every Saturday?
This Saturday.
Well, this will air next week.
Okay. Well, so this Saturday doesn't matter.
Last Saturday will be there.
Yeah, last Saturday we have a book release. But aside from that, nothing right now. But we will have some art shows coming up soon, and hopefully an event for Basil.
Cool. Where can people find you online? You, the shop, White Rose.
You can find all of our Instagrams is probably the best way to keep up with us. Instagram is just kind of the biggest thing right now since we were talking about it earlier. My Instagram is just my name, which is at Javier Betancourt. The shop is at Ocho Placas Tattoo. And White Rose is at White Rose MIA.
Cool. Just before we close out, I want to remind everyone about our 2 online programs that are now available. Again, Team Soul Training Online is a sport of fitness style program meant for CrossFit competitors. People who have aspirations of competing on a higher level. You guys can visit our website, www.teamsoultraining.com, to get all the information. It's $35 a month. You get added to a private community on Facebook where we talk about coaching, post demo videos, answer questions, people post their times, etc., etc. And yesterday we just put out our new Team Soul Barbell program, which includes both the sport of Olympic-style weightlifting and a strength training and powerlifting program. That's for $15 a month. Once again, you can find all that on www.teamsoultraining.com. To keep up with us, just check out our Instagram.